The next morning, with the help of her maid, Jane dressed quickly in a simple grey gown. She pulled her hair away from her face with a ribbon, allowing it to hang long and free down her back. Finished with her morning ablutions, she headed through the door of her chamber. At the top of the stairs that led to the great hall, she paused. From the sound of male voices, she knew her suitors and their men had gathered for their morning meal. Slowly, Jane descended into the great hall and looked about the room. Instead of the cold stone walls, she saw warmth in the pink-grey stone, heard the sound of the men's laughter, and smiled. Laughter was not something she had heard at Bellhaven in many years. She liked the sound. Perhaps this truly was a new beginning for her, for Bellhaven. If it were not for the fact that someone was trying to harm both her and Margaret, or that when she had woken this morning her father's sword and standard were gone, this new life of hers might actually be perfect. Jane took the final step that brought her into the chamber. As she did, the voices diminished, and all eyes turned to watch as she made her way to the dais. She took her seat beside Lady Margaret. "Did you sleep well, my dear?" Margaret asked. "I did, but I have a question for you. Did you come into my chamber last night and collect my father's sword and standard?" "Nay. Why?" Margaret asked, puzzled. The warmth in the room paled. "They are gone." "Gone?" "They were on the chair where you left them when I went to sleep, and when I awoke, they were not. I was so hopeful that you took them away." As Jane's words faded, so too did the voices in the hall, leaving only silence. "Why would someone steal the tokens of your father?" Lord Galloway asked, abandoning his half-eaten slice of cheese. "Perhaps one of the servants moved them," David offered. Jane shook her head as her smile faded along with the colour of the walls. Not pink, but only grey stone stared back at her. The realities of her situation were as stark as ever, despite her best efforts. She shook her head at David's assumption. "I asked my maid. She knew nothing of their removal from my chamber." Nicholas's features darkened. "The danger to Lady Jane continues." "We should rotate a guard outside Lady Jane's chamber from now on," Colin offered, as all the levity in his features shifted to worry. "As well as one of us remaining with her at all times," Bryce suggested. At the statement, everyone turned to look at him with varying looks of disbelief. "What is it? You all look as though I have grown 2 heads. I have made no secret that I want to inherit the castle, but that does not mean I wish any harm to come to my cousin." "Enough of this dire talk," Jules interrupted. "Jane was so happy a moment ago when she walked into this chamber. All our talk of danger and intrigue has robbed her of that." He winced as he pushed back from his seat at the table, then stood. "I cannot tolerate that sad expression on your face a moment longer." "Do not concern yourself with me." She motioned for him to return to his seat. He ignored her, instead coming around the table to stand beside her. "You have had enough sadness and hardship of late. I want to see you smile again." Lord Galloway raised his goblet. "Hear, hear. We could all use a bit of levity." "What do you suggest?" Lady Margaret asked, casting a hesitant smile at the nobleman beside her. "There are only 6 more days till Christmas-tide, and yet you would hardly know it by the look and mood of Bellhaven. I say it is time to put Lady Jane into the Christmas spirit, right here, right now." A low rumble of voices filled the hall, as not only her suitors but their men discussed the virtue of the idea. Margaret stood and clapped her hands, bringing silence to the hall once more. "What a lovely idea! We will prepare for a banquet tonight with food and musicians and dancing." "Who will join me for an expedition into the woods?" Jules asked the others. "Jules, you are in no condition to travel on a horse or by foot," Jane argued. "It is unwise for Jules or Jane to leave," David replied with a scowl. "Both of you will remain here with 2 of us and half our men, while the rest of us gather greens and bring them back to decorate the hall." Lord Galloway nodded. "Splendid idea." He stood, and after bidding Margaret a good day, moved to stand beside Jules. "Count me in to gather greens." "I will go as well," Colin said. "There's been too much heartbreak around here of late. It is time to change."